Welcome to Embracing AI, a new era of writing excellence. And this is going to be all about AI, artificial intelligence writing tools, and how you can incorporate them into your life and your business. I'm Terry Ambrose. I am a digital marketer, and I use a lot of AI tools, particularly in marketing. And definitely, I use AI writing tools for several projects. And I'm going to show you that here in this webinar. So we're going to cover today in this presentation what are AI writers, how they can help you as a writer, what their benefits are, what the popular AI writing tools are, and how to use them. And then we'll cover some AI limitations. So what are AI writers? They are AI-powered tools that help you write. They operate on cloud-based platforms, so you need an internet connection to use them. There are free platforms and paid platforms, and then there are platforms that have both free and paid. And then these platforms are going to vary depending on how the AI was trained. So you may use a writing platform that's just a general type of writer, or you may use something that's specifically trained more in what it is that you're trying to conjure from it. And we'll talk about that, how that works too. So AI writers are going to aid in content generation, help you with grammar and more. And the best part, they enhance your creativity and your ease of writing. They help you out and they boost productivity and they save you time. So how do they do this? How do they work? Well, I'm not going to go into the real detail nitty-gritty about how they work because bullet point 2 and 3 on here could be a whole workshop in itself. It's very interesting, but beyond the scope of what we want to talk about here. So basically, just know that AI writers are trained on data. So let's just throw ChatGPT out there because everybody's probably pretty familiar with that because it became quite the buzzword in the last year or so. So ChatGPT is trained on a data set. It's trained on the internet. It's trained on all kinds of texts. So just a huge download, huge dump of data that goes into this for it to be learning from. And then the fourth bullet, the continuous learning, is another thing, is that it doesn't, some people think, oh, they learn as they go based on your input. Not exactly, not most of them anyway. Not to say that isn't something that can happen, but usually the improvements are from further data input. They're getting further trained. So there was one AI I was using back, the very first original gangster, I call him, the OG, Jasper, which at the time was Conversion AI is what they were called. But that was only trained up till a certain point. And even in 2023, I think it was only trained to December of 2021. So if you were looking for something that had more recent newsworthy or other events that came upon you after that date, you're not going to get a lot of input from the writer, the AI writer on it. So AI can assist all types of writers. You don't have to be an author of a novel or, whatever you think of when you think of a writer. You simply need to be someone who writes. You could be a blog writer, a book author. You could just be writing emails. Everybody writes some, and AI tools can assist you with that in making yourself clear and making sure you have your grammar and punctuation correct and giving you all kinds of ideas and so on. So we're going to talk about 3 categories of AI writing tools. We're going to talk about the automated ones, and that's your ChatGPT, Jasper. There's so many out there, to be honest. And again, the key is, what are they trained with? Because whatever they're trained with is the resource it's going to develop whatever it is you're looking for. There are writing tools that help you with punctuation and style checking, like Grammarly, that you're probably very familiar with that one. It's gotten better and better as AI has advanced, but that's a main industry standard. So is ProWriting Aid or Hemingway Editor. AI-powered SEO tools, Surfer, Rank Math, and others. I made the Jasper, ChatGPT, Grammarly, Surfer, those 4. I made them stand out a little bit so they're blue, the other wording is black, but only because we're going to be talking about those today more specifically than the others. All right, so these tools are going to help you generate ideas. They're going to help you write. They're going to help you summarize something that's been written. They can help you with research, with content optimization, and I'm referring to search engine optimization. And these tools can also do plagiarism checking for you. So here we go. We're going to talk about these 3 writing tools next. And I put the QR codes up just so that you know you have a quick way to get to them. I will also have this up at the end. It's easier sometimes than putting links depending on how you're watching this. If you go through the Jasper QR code, they will give you that one. You get a free week. Normally they're just strictly pay to play kind of thing, but you get a free week to try them out. I don't think Grammarly or ChatGPT with these QR codes, you get anything other than going directly to them. All of these are, well, Grammarly, Jasper does not have a free version. Grammarly does, and ChatGPT does. And they also have a paid version that gets you a little more. So, idea generation. That's one of the biggest things that AI writers can do for you. They're going to be able to give you fresh ideas, give you inspiration for if you're writing a story, an article, a book. You could get different angles or different storylines, and you ask it for these things specifically. We'll go into showing you how that works. So you can use your prompts. You feed it by giving it a prompt, asking it for something. You can use them to brainstorm to help develop original concepts. You can help it or get idea generation because it's useful for overcoming writer's block and finding innovative approaches. So all kinds of generative things you can do with AI writers. And let's take a look at that. So this right here is the interface of ChatGPT, very basic. Right here, 3.5. And if you click that, if you pay for 4.0, that's $20 a month. You can click that and go to 4.0. And the 4.0 is basically trained better. It can do more complicated things that require a different type of thought functionality. I'm trying to explain something a little more complicated in very basic language and having a challenge. But in any case, so what you do is you click down here in the chat, in the area that you want to ask it for, ask it something or request that it produce something for you. That's where you do it. I've pre-recorded this, so let's go ahead and look. So I type in a prompt for it. I say I need to write a blog post about ethical advertising and why it's important. Please give me some ideas on how I might approach this. So to be clear, I'm asking it for ideas on how to approach this. I'm not saying write the blog post for me, and that there's a whole bunch of controversy in there, which is fun to talk about too. But I want to write the blog post. I just want ChatGPT to give me some ideas on how I might approach this. So it starts going. It tells you writing a blog post about ethical advertising is a great idea. So it's like it makes it sound like it's busy being a person there for you. But so it gives me all these ideas, 1 through it looks like 13, and I could do my blog post and answer all of them. I could just choose the ones that I think I want to focus on in my blog post. I could take one of these things and do a deep dive into it. But the point being, just in one prompt and very quickly, I was able to get all these different ideas of the content that I could explore in my blog post. All right, here's another another AI writer. This one's Jasper. And Jasper is more robust than ChatGPT. ChatGPT is very straightforward. Like you put in the prompt, it gives you the output. Whereas Jasper has a bunch of templates that you can use to frame your request or what you're trying to do. You can have a brand voice. Like for me, I had it look at my website, goes through it, takes all the information from your website, your words, your blog posts, like how are you writing? What do you sound like? What's your casualness or lack thereof or whatever. So it gets real robust for you. It's like $40 a month versus ChatGPT, which is either free or $20 a month. But again, just different functionalities depending on what you need. So let's take a look at Jasper. If I go up there to the upper left to create content, it gives me some options. I chose templates, and I can go through and look at all these templates if I want. They have quite a lot, but I chose the paragraph generator. And I'm going to write in here because, again, this is under the idea, looking for ideas. So in here, I ask it to write a paragraph for me to convince my editor to send me on assignment to Hawaii, where I'll be gathering some information to write about Mark Twain's Letters from Hawaii book and other venture forth then report type of books. So I'm giving the AI all this information. I tell them, even furthermore, I say, to have me write a book about the genre of book and then not have me do the venture force myself just seems like, unfortunately, ironic. And I would hope that he would agree with me, my editor. So I put all that out there. I might think this through a little better if I wasn't doing it so quickly, but even so, that's probably good enough. Then I want to decide, do I want to put some keywords in here? And I do choose some keywords. I tell it to put in say yes. So I guess what I'm going to have in the paragraph is it'll be like, I hope you say yes. I don't know what it'll put there for that, and then I'm going to choose my voice, and there's many you can choose. It showed a few there, but you can it only popped up with the ones I think that I had done before. I had to do three outputs, and you can change the amount of output right here at the bottom. So three. Sometimes I would just put two or just one. I mean, sometimes it gets overwhelming to go through all of them, but three is good. So I'm looking at the first paragraph. I can read that and decide if I like it, or the second, or the third, or I can mix and match parts of it. The point is, a lot of times I don't use these paragraphs as is anyway. I might use a lot of what it says, but then I kind of tweak it to be a little more me or what I want to say. I usually use this stuff for ideas of like, oh yeah, that sounds better. I should say it that way. I should, start out that way or whatever. So next thing, summarization. AI tools can help you summarize, which can be helpful if you have a big long article and you're like, ugh, I really want to know about this stuff, but I don't know that I want to read that whole article. You can just copy the article and paste it into the AI and get a summary. So let me show you how that works. This is my website, and I went down to my blog posts, a few of them, and I chose this How to Publish a Book blog post that I wrote. And I know the blog post because I wrote it. So if I have it summarized, I'll know whether it's correct or not. So I go through and I copy all the wording on it. I don't copy the table contents to the right, even though it looks like I did here in this example. I really don't. I back away from it. And I go to Chat GPT and I type in, please summarize the following text. And then I paste in that whole article and I hit the black arrow button there in the lower right. Bing. And I send it the message, and right away it starts working. Now it shoots me to the top of my message, so I have to go all the way down to the bottom to see its results, but there it is. So it took the article, and I can see that it divided it into self-publishing, traditional publishing, hybrid publishing, and it did it in a pros and cons format, which is exactly how my article went. So I can see that, great, I have a summary of exactly this. Traditional publishing, pros, no upfront costs, cons, loss of certain rights. So I can just see at a glance what this article is covering. All right, so writing assistance. One of the biggies, of course, of AI is getting assistance in your writing. All right, so I hit the create content. I'm going to look at the templates again just to show you a little bit about them and how many there are. So we just went through who knows how many, and it's going on and on. And go to the top, you can search. I've searched in Facebook, I think, then I put Instagram. So it'll pull up all the things. This time I'm doing blog. It'll pull up all the things that pertain to what you're trying to do, what you're typing in there, what you're trying to search for, I mean. So let's go create content. This time we're going to choose a blank document, and I'm going to go in, and this time I am going to tell it to write a blog for me, which again, I don't really encourage it doing, because as you'll see, the resulting stuff that you get is kind of meh. You have to really mold it. So what you put in this description box here matters. You have 600 words, so use as many of them as you can. Right, one thing to notice here is I had said for the keyword to include how to market a restaurant, and this, for search engine optimization, my head goes there, and, this should have that key phrase in the title, but it certainly should have it in this first paragraph, and it doesn't. So I say, not happy with that. So I go in, I click this slash button to pull up to be able to ask Jasper a question, and I say, modify this paragraph to include the phrase, how to market a restaurant. Like, do your job, Jasper. So it does. It goes ahead and it redoes that paragraph with that keyword phrase in it, and it's much better than that first one. So I delete the first one, we'll keep the second one, and then I want it to go further. So I just click this arrow that you can see there, and it tells it keep writing. So it keeps writing, and I can say do more. Now it's going to give me item 2. So you can go along and write this way, but as you can see, this isn't really you writing. This is just you conjuring along with a AI. Now, one thing I'm doing here in the video is I'm choosing a sentence, and I'm going to tell it to do something, either improve the writing, change the tone, change the length, repurpose the content. You can repurpose it for a Facebook post or for whatever. There's a lot of fun things you can do there. So I'm going to have it change the tone. I want it to be engaging. So it comes up with a different way to say it that it feels is a little more engaging. And I tell it, try again, because I must not have liked it. And now I'm going to change the tone, or not the tone, the length. I want to make it longer. And it did that quite well. I think it actually changed the whole, like, more than just that sentence. I got like a whole additional paragraph about it. So you can mess around with the different ways of fixing sentence structure, adding, or whatever. Again, this isn't the most ideal way to put together a blog if you want it to be with your own voice. But you can put together the structure and then add in your voice. What I really like to do is I would say, create a blog about 10 unique ways to market a restaurant, and here are the 10 ways. And I would say, here are the 10 ways, right? Because I'm the expert here. I should be able to tell people, here's some ways to market a restaurant. And I don't need the AI to conjure it. I might need the AI to help me word what I want to say better. But so there's that. Just know that there's that fine line of questionable, how AI is going to continue in society as far as communications written words go, because I feel like the internet and Google's already gotten pretty aware of this and taken steps to mitigate any problems that are going to happen. And I say mitigate, not eliminate, because I'm not sure what the plan is, but you could end up having a bunch of blog posts and stuff on the internet that are basically kind of junk, kind of, written by the AI, but really no human thought into it or no human point of view. And so I think it's really important to make sure that you're using these as tools and not as pretending this is something that you actually wrote. So you'll have to grapple with that. And I feel comfortable with where I'm at with it, and other people, they feel happy with the AI writing the whole article, and they just go in and optimize it or add a little bit, tweak a little bit to make it look personal, but I'm not a fan of that. So AI can help you research. It's going to be able to accelerate research by scanning all the stuff for you. And I use a different tool. I don't use Jasper or ChatGPT for research, although I could, and it would probably be just fine. But I like this next one, Bard, because it does come up with links and images, which I love. So it really is more like a research tool. So let's show you how this works. I'm saying I'm writing a book based on 18th century Egypt. I want images and links to websites to help me understand the style of the clothing that they wore. So I ask the AI that, and it goes in and it says, look, for men, They wore this. They wore this kind of headgear. Here's a picture. For women, here's some things that they wore, and here's a piece of jewelry, and here's a picture. Here's some websites for further exploration. You can go there, and then it also encourages you to remember that it encompasses various dynasties. So basically, it's saying, look, if you want to get real specific, tell me the dynasty. Tell me the research specific periods of time. So that was helpful. So the next prompt, I'd probably go in and ask it that again with more specificity. So that's how I can help you there with research and content optimization. All right. So content optimization, meaning search engine optimization. You want to optimize your content to show up high on search engine results pages, or wherever it is, whatever you're trying to do with your work. Even Amazon has SEO, search engine optimization considerations. Like if you do any type of writing that you want people to actually see in this day and age, and you're not doing, going through a traditional publisher as an author, you're either doing self-publishing or blog posting or selling, you're writing sales copy or whatever, you need to know about search engine optimization. So AI can boost that. And you, if you're not familiar with that, need to boost your education on it because it's something that will only help you in the long run, understanding the concepts of search engine optimization and how it works and why you need it. So right here is another video. I'm in Surfer SEO, and basically I paste my article here once I'm done. Once I feel fully happy with it, I've checked the plagiarism, and I'll show you how to do that down the couple slides down. And I mean, this is as good as it gets for me. I'm like feeling like I'm done. Then I pull it into Surfer, and usually this content score is much lower. It definitely isn't usually in the green. It's usually in the red or the orange, hopefully like in the orange somewhere. So you don't have to do a lot of overhaul to tweak it. But you come up and it'll show you, look, here's all the words and phrases you should have in your article if you want to rank. And it shows up as green if they're saying perfect. And it shows up as orange if it's like, you're okay here, but you could be better. And see, it's showing you have 2. You need from 4 to 16 of these. You have 26 marketing material comments. You need from 18 to 27. So these probably didn't used to be green. I know they didn't. They all were like orange or even red, meaning like you don't have any of these. You really need to add these. So I went through, this is after I went through and tweaked. I made sure I had enough words, enough headings, paragraphs, images, that these words were in it. There's other things that you can do that I go through, not in depth, but up there at the top, I think I circle back. So here you can see the red ones are pink actually, but those are bad. Those aren't, and you don't have to do all of them. I don't have to get to 100. I don't want to waste all my time. So yeah, there you can see it has other things outlined and brief, but I don't want to waste all my time, not all my time, but I want to waste a lot of my time trying to make this go from 87 to 100 when there's really kind of a law of diminishing returns, right? This is great. The time it would take me to get from that to 100 is a lot harder than the time it takes me to get from, say, here over to here. So anyway, AI is what's going through and looking at your stuff and deciding where you need to fix it. So if you are a blogger in particular, this is a must have. All right, plagiarism checking. We talked about that we're going to talk about this, so let's do it. So tools like Grammarly and Copyscape use AI to scan content, and I'm going to show you how Jasper does it using Copyscape. So Copyscape is integrated into Jasper, the AI writing tool. And so let's go ahead and play this video. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to open up an article I've already written, and it's already been published, probably on more than one website because they do some copy sharing. These guys, or maybe not. I don't really know how they ended up using it, but I know they did post it. So I'm going to check plagiarism. It's only going to cost me 9 cents. You can see right here to check this whole article. And I ask it to scan the document, and it shows here's some, clearly you have some plagiarism going on. And of course I would expect that because I have published it already. Okay, so then let's do another one. I am going to go into Jasper and I'm going to just quickly write an article. So it'll be an original article and we'll check for plagiarism. So I write this prompt to Jasper, and you can see that I give it a headline, 7 essential small business tips for success. And then I go through and I give it 4 of the tips. I'm like, here's the first one, here's the second tip, the third one, the fourth. And then I do say, please suggest the other 3 tips. And I do that for brevity for this lesson here, obviously. But you can see how the AI will write the other 3 tips for you. Personally, I like to do all of them myself because I want to author my own stuff and just get help from the AI, but it can do it for you. So let's take a peek at that. And this is where we're going into Jasper. I've entered all the information there, that prompt that I told you about, and I click the purple arrow there and say, go ahead and do this thing. It starts writing right away, putting together those 7 tips. And I read through. If I like it, then I go ahead and click that arrow right there, and it'll move it over here to the document editor. This is where I can make all kinds of changes or do whatever I need to do. And I can, start right here writing my blog post if I want and build off that. Or I can choose just some of these things to write about, or I can just grab one and do a deep dive into it. But the point is that it's giving these tips, doing it itself. And now I want to check the plagiarism, right? So I go through there, cost me 6 cents, and boom, congratulations, there is no plagiarism. So that's something you really do want to do is check your plagiarism. I've done probably over 100 articles through Jasper and have never had a plagiarism problem. Um, and that has to do with the way Jasper is built compared to, say, ChatGPT or some of the other ones, where I understand you will get some plagiarism problems sometimes with those, but you can see. Plagiarism checker is built into Jasper, but if you're using something free like ChatGPT or something else, you can do a plagiarism checker. I mean, it does cost to run through a plagiarism checker, but it's really inexpensive, and you can find some and do it yourself. But the point being, make sure you do that. So there are some types of writing that are not ideal for AI. So that's going to be like your highly creative and original content. I mean, good writing, and there are some people out there that are just brilliant. Your AI is not going to be that person. So it's not going to be ideal for that. It won't be ideal for highly specialized or technical subjects or uh, sensitive or emotionally charged content. Well, let's take the highly specialized or technical. The reason why is if it's so specialized and technical, there's not going to be a lot of stuff out there about it. So the AI doesn't have a lot to draw on to understand it. The sensitive or emotionally charged content, same with the content that requires cultural or contextual nuances or ethical or moral implications. The point being, this is just a tool. It's not a human brain that can kind of discern what's appropriate to say or what's not appropriate to say, depending on the content and nuances. And of course, if there's high stake content that you're writing, it's very important, and you need to make sure it's correct or whatever. Don't use AI for it. You're using AI just as a tool to help you smooth your writing. And here, I'm going to show you an example of what I mean by this. So I go into Claude. This is another AI, and I'm asking it to help with the problem I'm having with WordPress. I can't figure out if my Cadence Blocks Pro plugin should the free version stay on along with the Pro version. I'm not getting it to show up. How does this work? So the AI comes through and says, "Oh, no, no, no. You need to deactivate your free Cadence plugin. You only want." It goes in this whole thing about how the Cadence Block Pro plugin works on its own. You only want it being, but guess what? Not true. None of that was true, because when I did that, it caused more problems. So I actually went to the source Cadence Blocks help desk and asked them. And what I found out was basically the AI was totally wrong. So that wasn't a high stakes thing, but that's just an example of showing you how it definitely can be wrong. So don't rely on it more than the tool can actually deliver to you. So to summarize, AI is going to provide improved efficiency and productivity. It's going to enhance your creativity for sure. And then it'll give you grammar, style, and tone enhancement capabilities. So we only looked at Jasper and how that works. I didn't actually cover a lot of Grammarly on here because we have a brief amount of time that we're doing this particular webinar for. And a lot of people are familiar with Grammarly, but that's another program where it's going to go through and help you decide, oops, this is spelled wrong, or this is worded awkwardly, or you need a comma here or there. So this is the way to contact me. If you'd like to take a look at my website and blog, you can do so at terryambrose.com. I'd be happy to connect with you in my Facebook mastermind group. We do talk about digital marketing related, but also AI related too. And you can get there by clicking that QR or taking a picture, pointing your camera at the QR code. And if you're watching this on YouTube, I know that doesn't make much sense. I'll have a link below. And then also, these are the three we talked about. You can get a free week with Jasper here. I am an affiliate with Jasper. So I do get a small commission if you end up using them. It's not a lot, but it helps pay for some of this stuff. Grammarly and ChatGPT, they have free and paid versions. And I have the paid version of ChatGPT. I'm still on the fence about whether it's worth it or not. $20 versus free. And I don't know if I notice it's doing a lot more than the free version does, but and then Grammarly too has a free and a paid version, so you can check those out. So thank you so much. I appreciate your attention here and hope to see you in the mastermind group.